Hey guys, today we're finally giving our review on Venom The Last Dance. Let's get into it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the End of the Line podcast. I'm your boy Juan G here with
Giga T.
That's right, and as he said, we finally are getting to our review of Venom: The Last Dance. We had a lot to cover.
We did.
We've had a lot, so we got through that. I'm excited to cover this movie because I really liked it, and you guys will know why. But I was really surprised by this movie.
Yeah, and how good it was.
Yeah, especially coming from Carnage.
Yes.
We got a really bad one on that one, so I was really skeptical on this one, but I was pleasantly surprised. But before that, we got a bit of nerd news today.
Hello.
All right, first in nerd news. Now this is just a rumor, but Marvel Studios is considering a second season of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. You know, this guy's loving that news.
As soon as I saw that, I sent you the information.
Yeah, and you're like, looks like I might be getting what I wanted.
Right. And again, if it's formatted the way, what was the most recent? Agatha was, where they have a showrunner and like it's ran like a normal series. Mm-hmm. It has potential. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think they'll spend the money on CGI. Because they have Marvel Television now. Yeah. But because there's that structure, that hierarchy, that umbrella that oversees it, and they're not trying to imitate, Loki, which is a fluke of how great it was, and WandaVision, which was a fluke on how great it was. They took those styles and they, created a system with Marvel Television. So I'm okay with it now that they have a structure in place.
Yeah. Well, initially, after the first season, Disney was like, yeah, we'll give you season 2, and then the She-Hulk show was like, all right, well, we're gonna need this much, and then Disney saw how much they needed, and they were like, well, never mind, because apparently they wanted a lot of money to make season 2.
I mean, because of the CGI, and it struggled. It you can see how shitty some of the CGI was.
It was way worse in when they first started it. The CGI was way worse. They fixed it before the season started.
Oh, did they?
They fixed it a lot. Because remember, a lot of people were joking that she looked like Fiona a little bit. But so they fixed it enough to where like it was passable. But I think like for sure they wanted more money so that they can fine tune it for it to be perfect.
Right, and especially because she spends a lot of her time in She-Hulk form. Mm-hmm. She doesn't really go back and forth. She just chooses to stay like that.
Yeah. Well, she stays like that for work, and I mean Feige has said we making this show. They knew it was not gonna be for everyone.
Yeah, I mean you're fucking dying on a hill over there with that fucking phrase or that quoting Kevin.
Well, to be fair, because he said it after the show came out, so like after, it wasn't before like, hey, listen, we're gonna make this, but it's not gonna be for everybody. It wasn't like a preemptive thing. He said it after to justify why a lot of people didn't like it.
Right, and it's just, I think that was the scapegoat.
You think so?
Yeah, it's just it didn't do as good as they wanted it to, and they needed something to recoup it, and
there was his way to save face, basically. Yeah, is what you're saying? Okay,
I think so. I did not enjoy it. Is it my favorite? No, right. But it's probably my least favorite out of all of them, besides Secret Invasion.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say over Secret Invasion. What?
Secret Invasion had potential, but I don't know. It just came out at the wrong time.
So you like Echo better than She-Hulk?
I don't really care for the fight scenes as much. Mm-hmm. They were
in Echo.
No, in She-Hulk.
Okay.
They're kind of bland fight scenes. What? The fight scenes were better.
The Daredevil one was badass.
Yeah. So was the one in Echo.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. But that was a very quick fight. She-Hulk's was longer than that. Well, because he had a whole episode dedicated to them too. But yeah, I mean, I was one of those people that really liked the show, and that I guess Feige and them made it too, because I like I like your comedy, I like your law shows. Like I like both of those kind of shows. I like She-Hulk as a character.
Me too. I just think it was underwhelming.
I will agree with you. It could have been done a lot better for sure. I still enjoyed what we got,
and we were still being babied with how great Loki season 1 and season 2 were. They had big shoes to fill.
Yeah,
and again, this is why I like that they're structured now, because those shoes can be filled now.
Yeah,
in a different structure, but still deliver exceptional results.
Yeah, all right.
So
fair enough.
I'm not against it, but this part is. Kevin Feige confirms that one day Hugh Jackman will be recasted as Wolverine. And I'm okay with it. He's not going to do it till he's fucking 90.
Yeah, he's 90. So he's still got a few more years of Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he just wants to do movies with Ryan, and he's enjoying them, and let Hugh have fun. He's going through went through a divorce.
I mean, dude, let him do it if he still wants to do it and is still capable of doing it. Let him. Yeah. Dude, he is one of those, casting that he was meant for that role. He was born to play that role, just like RDJ, Iron Man, and, Chris Evans, Captain America. But, like, that's what I'm saying. If he's still willing to do it and still wants to do it, still has a passion for it,
yeah.
Like,
because of the character's uniqueness of not being able to die, him being actually 200 years old, it works. So, surprisingly, for him, it'll work.
And then not only that, but look at like the different comic runs. Like you have Old Man Logan, so he can still do that when he does age, and he can, you know what I mean. But yeah, I mean, do I think that there are other actors that can do a good job as Logan? Absolutely. Like look at I was fucking pumped to see Henry Cavill as Calvarian. I think he looked badass, and I think he could do that role justice. And then Deadpool even made that joke, that we'll treat you better than those
fucks down the street.
Yeah, those fuckheads down the street or whatever he called them. But yeah, I do want to see Jackman play it as long as he can. Right, absolutely. But I looking
think
forward.
Everybody wants.
Yeah,
that. Right.
I am still looking forward to that role.
Anybody will be upset when they recast him because
correct.
He's done more than enough.
Yeah.
This is just his like victory tour, continuous like greatest hits that are gonna be happening right now.
Yep.
So I'm cool with that. What else we
got? So this is another rumor, and it is a rumor. Another one I hope happens. Eddie will be back on season 5 of Stranger Things.
Yes. So that was one of the brothers, right? That passed away.
Negative. So you haven't got to this season yet, but he was a big he was a fan favorite when he got on just because of his character, and it's the same actor who's playing Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four.
Right.
He is he was part of the Hellfire Club in the D&D club that they joined, and his character like really made a mark for himself in season 5 because of what he did and what he season 4. Okay. For what his character did during season 4, it really like it hit hard. His character did awesome things in that season. So you'll know what I mean when you get there. He has one of the most iconic scenes in all of Stranger Things. Okay. So hopefully it'd be great to see him come back.
So he dies.
He does. Yeah, spoiler. But I know that's not even a spoiler because season 4's been out for forever and everybody knows that. But yeah, that would be really cool to see him come back, and I want to know how they would do it. Like if he would be like a ghost or like in the Upside Down, maybe we see, or I don't know. Oh, okay. They're filming. So they're filming an episode of Chicago PD on our block.
Oh, that's what's happening right now?
That's the people that are parked where the production company has their designated parking. They're letting people know to move their car or else they're going to get towed. So I doubt that picks up on our mic anyway. But yeah.
That threw me off.
So so that's what's happening out there. So hopefully that comes. I'm really excited to see how he comes back if he does. Again, this is just a rumor, but it's something I really want to happen. And I'm sure I'm not the only fan that wants that. What else we got?
All right, so this one's a little close to my heart because I grew up loving Lilo and Stitch. All my kids love Lilo and Stitch. I think all our kids love Lilo and Stitch. But they did a poster of Stitch biting on one of the coconuts from Maui.
Yes, from Moana, yeah.
Correct, from Moana. And so if you guys know, there's like that floating island of little coconuts that are like ravage animals. And
well, it's ships, but yeah, it's not an island.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's an island of. It's like an island ship situation.
Yeah,
it's a massive floating device.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so they. I remember growing up watching, Lilo and Stitch, and they made parodies, like commercials, of like Lilo flying past Jasmine and Aladdin on the carpet, and then he rizzes up Jasmine, and she gets in his spaceship and they take off.
Yeah.
And then they do.
There's a Little Mermaid one where the wave. I think he's surfing a wave and it goes over. It like splashes all over Ariel.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then in Lion King, Rafiki lifts up and they're like, Timon's like, that's not Simba.
Oh, yeah, it's Stitch.
And it was Stitch, yeah. So like I want to see them do a live action version of that. So we know Snow White's coming out this year or next year. We know that Moana live action is going to happen at some point.
Yeah. Years from now, yeah.
Right, and then we know Mufasa's coming out soon.
So you're saying you want them to do live action commercials like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just how they did the animated.
Why not shorts?
Because I don't see that happening.
No, kind of like the I Am Groot shorts.
No, I mean, No, just do the commercials like that. You know? It'd be fun.
Fair enough.
Cute.
Yeah.
Why do I keep stepping on? I thought I had something in my shoe. Anyways, yeah. So I think, and it'd be a total miss. They already teased it with this poster.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what they have in store for.
Well, I would imagine if they're teasing with the poster, they have plans to possibly do that, or at least maybe those posters are teasing that coming out too.
Even if and this is big for me to say that we know that The Rock is gonna play Maui. It'd be cute to see fucking The Rock in Maui. Get up and Stitch just pop up on the screen. He's like, "What are you?"
Yeah, yeah.
And he Stitch does some alien situation thing, and then Maui transforms into him.
Fair enough.
Something funny, Yeah, Maui can imitate.
I think the main reason we have that poster is because Moana 2 just came out, so they're capitalizing on Moana 2 publicity
being
and
from Hawaii and all that.
Yeah, and then Stitch is also from there. Yeah, exactly. So there's that connection. Plus, there's also Maui's hook thing is in Lilo and Stitch. One of the guys is wearing it on his chain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the Easter egg to Moana coming out
years ago.
Yeah, well,
that's crazy.
That or when they were making Moana, that's what they used to make Maui's hook. They're like, oh, let's use that. It was in I don't know. It was one of those two. I forgot how it actually goes.
I would imagine that Moana had been in development, or the story itself, or the concept art and all that stuff had existed for years.
Yeah.
Before it finally took off, because we know the animation takes a long time to put together. So I hope it'd be a missed opportunity if they don't.
For sure.
So, but outside of that, I think that's all we have
that's all we got today.
Nerd News. Just make sure you guys like and subscribe and click the notification bell to keep up with the latest of Nerd News. That's right.
Boom.
All right, I'm not throwing these today.
Yeah, I'm not throwing them in. I think that shtick is old.
Yeah,
already.
we have. Yeah,
people are like, all right, we get it.
We get it.
All right, on to our main topic. Topic of the episode: Venom: The Last Dance. So the synopsis of this movie is: Eddie Brock and Venom must make a devastating decision as they're pursued by a mysterious military man and alien monsters from Venom's home world. This movie, as I said before, was a big surprise to me.
And how decent it was.
At how good and how much I actually liked it. We had talked about it before, but I would actually rank this as the best Venom movie. And then my order would be this one, and then the first one, then the second one.
Right.
So 3, 1, 2.
Yeah.
In that order. But what is the IMDb?
So the IMDb rating gave it a 6.2 out of 10. Yeesh. Rotten Tomatoes rated it at 41. And then the fan popcorn was at 81 audience score.
Yeah.
So I mean, they didn't do bad as far as the fans. So fans like us, we did enjoy it. Now, do we know where it's gonna go? Some of this might not pan out.
Yeah. Tom Hardy did say this is his last time doing a Venom movie, like playing Venom in a full feature film.
Yeah, and he said a little. The comment he made was a little. How do I explain it? Like it was. It evaded as if the question of if he will come back to play. You know what I mean? So like,
well, he said that's where I was going with this. Is that, excuse me? He said that this is his last time playing Venom in a full Venom movie, but he does want his Venom to fight Tom Holland.
Yes,
Spider-Man. So what that tells me is that he's down to come back as Venom, but in another project, not a Venom project. So like a Spider-Man project, or
most likely Spider-Man 4, with it being called
King in Black.
Is it the King in Black?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So it'd be
that's that Knoll comic run. Yeah.
Correct. So what's your stone rating for it?
My stone rating. Let me pull up my notes and make sure let's see. Where do I have it? I thought I put it down in here. I guess I did not write it down. Interesting. Okay. Let me see. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna give it 5. I'm gonna give 5 stones. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed this movie. I saw it twice. I saw it once with you guys, and then asked the kids if they wanted to see it. They did, so then we all went back, and I still enjoyed it as much, if not a little bit better than the first time I saw it. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I'd give it a 4.
4. I saw that coming. I figured you would give it a 4.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, and it didn't blow me away, you know, but it was good.
Solid movie,
it was a solid movie.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So let's dive right into this. So it starts off with, we see Null, played by the great Andy Serkis, who, if you guys don't know, he voiced Gollum, he voiced Caesar. He's like the go-to guy for like CG animation, voiceover work.
Right.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
he's
Gollum,
the best that there is.
Like you said, Caesar.
Snoke.
Snoke, right?
He did.
That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah. This guy's, and he actually directed Carnage, which, what the hell, man?
Sorry,
because if you do that well at acting and stuff, you would think your directing would be just as good. But
I mean, but he did.
I think that had more to do with the script that they got for Carnage.
Yeah, and I think it was the story. He plays a pretty solid villain.
Yeah, well, he was Black Panther. He was
Ulysses Claw.
Yeah, he did great as the antagonist in that.
Yeah, I agree. Even though he died, but still,
I mean,
he showed up the first time we saw him was in Age of Ultron, when he was
right.
Vibranium.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been a big fan of him. I think he's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be around for years to come still.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we see
well, opens up on Null talking, and we see him in his prison,
right?
And we see him talking, like, I guess, to a bunch of his monsters, and he's talking about how he wants to be, that his children imprisoned him in that prison.
Yeah,
and he's telling the monsters, scour the corners of the universe for the Codex,
right?
And that Codex is the only thing that can free him. And as a reward for them doing that, he will reward them with their lives.
Right.
So then basically, he opens portals, right?
So for those that don't know what a codex is, so a codex is with the symbiote and the host are essentially a perfect match for each other. And they create this thing called a codex. It's like it kind of sends off a beacon, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the perfect hosting, and they create some phenomenon that Null feeds off of, and it can release him, and also, future experiments. I'm sure there's, I used to play the video game where Spider-Man video game where the entire universe got turned into symbiotes, and so you would fight like Wolverine. I played on the Wii
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool because you had the nunchuck and both like swinging through and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to like fight Wolverine. You had to fight Green Goblin.
All as symbiotes.
All as symbiotes,
wow.
dude. And you had, it was pretty intense. It was pretty cool. But what's it called? That was kind of like a spin off of like I didn't never finish this. I don't know if Noel's at the end or not.
Okay.
But what's it called?
I would imagine he is.
Yeah. So like in the comics they have like this like the swirl you saw when the Codex activated.
It kind of looks like the speaking of Moana, of the first movie, what's on the gem or the little rock.
Right. So
the
other symbiotes that he takes over, it's on the face. The Codex shows up.
Right. Yeah. It's like that on the Spider-Man 2 game also.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
so you've seen it before then.
Oh, the symbiote. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah. So it's they're obviously going with the Black Rain comic series. And I mean, I think it was interesting to see Noel right in the beginning. But I think it's to set the tone that what's to come.
Yeah.
And then what happens after that? Oh yes, like you said, he's stuck in the chair and he was betrayed by his own symbiotes, so he's like frozen in the chair. But he can open the portals, and his lackings, those like monster things, minions. But he didn't create those monsters, so they predate him.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so those monsters, but he just seems to be in control of them, and that's why he's like, "I'll give you your life, back to being free or roaming the the universe doing randomness." If you go find me the Codex.
Yeah.
So that's what his goal is like to free himself,
Yeah.
And then another part of that is he says it's established that wherever his domain is, his darkness, it exists kind of like a void, essentially. Like in
Thor: Love and Thunder. Remember when they're going after Gore's his name?
Yeah.
Remember when like all the color leaves the screen, like, and they didn't even notice it?
I mean,
is it like that
outside of time, like.
Oh right.
The void.
Yes.
Like
the void of space. Yeah.
No, the void as in like Loki. The void.
Gotcha. Right, okay. Right. Yeah.
It
Sorry.
exists
there. Yeah.
It's a parallel to every and it exists parallel and also outside of all the other universes, if that makes sense. Because that void is the dumping ground for every timeline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Similar to his Dark Reign, that he has his little corner of whatever multiverse that he is.
Yeah. He
exists in this pocket, and that's why he opens his.
That's why you can open portals into different worlds and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that predates time, right?
So he
like
comes from
the Big Bang and all that?
Yes and no. It's kind of similar to Galactus. So Galactus is a devourer of worlds, but he is from the prior universe.
Oh, okay.
So we're technically the MCU 616. Was it? What is the numerical number for the X-Men?
10,005?
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, and then 838 was another one, right? So all these parallel universes that live, cohesively with each other. Prior to that bang happening, this is the 6th universe.
Oh shit!
So prior to that, that's where Null comes from. He comes from that previous universe, and then also so does Galactus and a handful of other cosmic entities. That same thing with like the Celestials and things like that.
Okay,
so they come from they predate the Big Bang, but for this universe.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So this is now the 6th universe that have now other one has imploded and then a new one created.
It's kind of Matrixy, isn't it? Like remember, like okay, all right, cool. So, all right, so then after that happens, we see him opening the portals and all the monsters jump through.
Right.
And then we cut to Eddie Brock at the bar. So he was at the same, or it goes back to the scene from No Way Home, right? Where he's
Correct.
at the bar
and so
drunk.
It opens up in 616.
Yeah.
Which was surprising. Because this is the first Sony not Spider-Man related movie that did anything with the 616.
Right.
We had nothing else. Yeah. Nothing else other unless it was a Spider-Man movie dealt with 616.
Right. Well, no, because even the other Spider-Mans aren't 616.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant this Spider-Man, as in Tom Holland.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. Which I don't know if those Spider-Mans have numerical numbers. Yeah.
They have to, because they came from other multiverses into No Way Home, remember?
Well, I know they do, but I'm saying... I don't think
they're assigned to...
Yeah, they've been...
exactly. Okay, I get what you're saying.
You know, like, you know...
He's 728 or whatever.
Right. You know?
Yeah.
Or 616B.
That'd be interesting to know if... Or what multiverse they come from. Like, what numerical multiverse they are.
Right.
That'd be cool. Because, that's never been said or anything yet.
Not yet.
That's interesting.
Which I'm sure we'll get some of that in Doomsday,
especially if we get, Spider-Man 4, or Tobey's Spider-Man 4 and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 3.
I don't think we'll get a Tobey 4, but I think we'll get an Andrew 3.
Yeah, so, like, maybe in that one they'll say what multiverse is from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then it starts there, and then it shows him going back to his multiverse.
Yeah. And this time, different from the end credit scene where, like, he's there sitting, and then he goes back to the bartender, and then it goes back to Eddie, and he's gone. Mm-hmm. Now we see, like, a ripple rip through time, and then we also see a coin hit the countertop with a little piece of symbiote left behind.
Well, yes, that's what Venom, like, paid him with. Mm-hmm. And then that's where we first see viral shedding.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. That little piece is basically like how dogs shed their fur. It's kind of like that with Venom. But yeah, from No Way Home and this one, the way he went back to his universe was different. I didn't notice that. It's not the same, like, animation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it changed a little bit, but yeah, we see that, and then this is where we see that mysterious military man, because right when the bartender's about to, like, touch the symbiote, he slams that, like, vial thing, and he, like, vacuum seals him in there. Mm-hmm. And then that's how which I like the difference between the two bartenders is just his hairstyle.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny to, like, designate between the two multiverses. That was really funny. So then we see, him, and he takes the vial, and then doesn't it cut to the scientist?
Yeah.
From there, this is where we first see, what's her name? Do you have her name?
Yeah.
But we see her, and she's driving to Area 51, right? At this point.
Well, Area 50 something, because they're closing down 51, aren't they?
They're shutting it down.
Dr. Teddy Payne.
Okay, Dr. Payne. Yeah. And then, so we see her, and then she gets to the facility, and she, like, stops at the guard gate, and she talks to him. And then there was a very interesting line here where when I heard it, I'm like, that was said for a reason. When she was talking about cockroaches have been here the longest and will be here long after we're gone.
Right.
Because I was like, that's too specific and too out of a line to just be a random line.
Right.
Like, as soon as she said it, I'm like, that's going to come back into play later.
Yeah.
And then it sure enough does. But, I have it right here. Cockroaches have lived on Earth for 280 million years and counting. That is fucking crazy.
I don't know how they know that.
Why, they can, just like how they know how long ago dinosaurs were here, they can...
Yeah, but there's no fossils of cockroaches, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So we know that because
there's got to be like something with carbon dating and stuff like that. There's got to be a way to tell from the actual cockroaches. Just like, I guess,
then how do you
trace their evolution?
How are they not studying cockroaches to figure out?
I guarantee you they are.
To create this fountain of youth situation.
You know? I don't think it works like that. I don't think that.
Right. I mean, like the theory of it, but of a serum of some sort, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they're just too different of a creature for us.
Do we just grind up fucking cockroaches and eat it like fucking
in your protein powder, like a protein powder? Yeah. Oh my god, disgusting. But no, I just think we're too different of creatures that we can't. There's no cross. Like, there's no way to like fuse their cell structure with ours, or I don't know. Right. Anyway, but then before we see her sleeping, right? And then we were in her dream.
Oh, that's right. We do see that.
And she's with her brother in the dream, and then she's having a nightmare about, I'm guessing, the day that he died. And one of the key lines in that dream was, "When thunder roars, head indoors." That was like the little saying that they had between each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I guess they both got hit by lightning, but the brother got hit by lightning, and then because she was holding on to him, it went to her, and that's why she has no mobility in her left arm.
Hit her on the shoulder and it went towards
It went through her into him.
yeah.
Oh,
On the shoulder and then it went.
that's right. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, and because he was the last one to get it, he took most of the blast.
Right.
So okay, so was it her left shoulder? Yeah, right. She only had, yeah, okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
So that's why she has no mobility in her left arm. And then it established that her and her brother have always wanted to be scientists. That was always a thing that they wanted to do, like, since kids.
And to honor him, that's what she does.
Exactly. So in this movie, we find out. Eddie Brock, and they see that on the news that he's a wanted man from the bar. So then he's like, "Well, what does he say? He wants to go to a governor, like a certain person, to help clear his name." But at first he was like, "We got to bribe him or something like that." Or he has a lot of dirt on somebody in New York.
So that alludes to his
reporting back that he was doing.
They're in a Daily World is what it was called.
I can't remember. But
it's not the Daily Bugle, but it was a Daily World in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He gets like shamed. He published something with somebody's name in there and ended up being wrong. And this is where the vendetta kind of comes from between Eddie and Peter Parker. Is Peter Parker / the Spider-Man catches the real person. And then basically debunks Eddie's story to be false information, and then it kind of ruins his career.
Okay,
so
that's why he leaves. That's his reason for leaving New York.
That's why he was ran out of New York in the comics. Now he doesn't seem to know who Peter Parker is now, so there's a part of that story is probably in place. Okay, but it's not. Because Peter Parker was the one that...
Right. There's just a reason that we don't know of that. That's why he's not in New York. But he says, when he's talking to Venom, he's like, well, there's a governor or judge or somebody that can help clear his name that he has a lot of dirt on. And then they see New York, and then Venom is saying that he's always wanted to see the Statue of Liberty. Yeah. So then they decide to go there because they don't run... Eddie Brock is like, I don't want to run anymore. I'm tired of running. Right. Or no, we can't stay down here in Mexico. I'm not going to live down here in Mexico or whatever. Yeah. Something like that. So then they make their way towards New York. Right. But then CCTV cameras catch them leaving the bar. And the military group is like, they have like a bolo out. So any camera that picks up Eddie Brock's, they get alerted. So then he's walking... And he's like crazy drunk. What do you think of the scene where Venom is making the drink and just destroying that dude's bar?
Dude, horrible. I'd be so mad. So mad.
And the guy's just like, what the? And then he's like, fuck this bar. I hate this place. And then he leaves. But I thought that scene was funny. Because the whole time Eddie Brock's like, I don't want another drink. I just want water. Like Venom's the one keeping him drunk. Yeah. So then they're walking and they hear like crying, right? Or like they hear some like whimpering or something like that.
Yeah, and they're the dogs.
And they make their way and they get to this building or this room with like a bunch of dogs and cages. Yeah. And they've
clearly Michael Vicking these dogs.
Yeah, so he realizes that like, oh, these dogs they're used for fighting, for dog fighting. And then the guys running that dog fighting ring come in and see Eddie Brock, and then that's where we get that from the trailer scene of Venom. Basically, he's like, before when they hear the whimpering, Venom's like, we should go to that because I need fuel for the road. And then so that's his way of like getting to the bad guys, because that's their deal. And so him and Venom just kill all these, or first whoop the shit out of all these guys. Right. Throws one of them into the dog, into one of the dog cages. Because first Venom opens up all the cages, right, and then lets all the dogs loose, and then the dogs start attacking. So it's dogs, Venom, and Eddie Brock just fighting these four guys. and then we get that real funny scene from the trailer where they can't synchronize.
The We Are Venom.
The We Are Venom thing. That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
And then so then Venom eats all 4 of the guys' heads, and then Eddie's crocs are. Oh, the dog has Eddie's croc, and he chewed it all up. So he goes, "Why need shoes?" So he just takes one of the guy's cowboy boots.
Yeah,
and then they're off.
And they're walking. He's like, "Eddie, you always take me to the best spots."
Yeah, yeah, that was funny. And then it cuts to the scientists arrive. Or is this where we see her in the dream? Right, the nightmare. After all that, right?
What?
This is where it cuts to the scientist and having the dream, the nightmare. I think it's after all that, isn't it? Yeah. After he's walking, yeah. So
yeah,
and then she gets to the facility, and she then comes that the cockroach line and all that, and then we start to see the facility she's working in, and that's where we see that they have other symbiotes in these containers, these stasis containers, right? You know what I'm talking? Is that's what?
Yeah. I don't know if they're be called stasis. I don't know if that's
I don't know what
term,
the word I'm trying to
some type of vial of some sort. Not a larger vial to contain.
They're these big ass tube things, and they're just floating in their symbiote form. But yeah. So then we start to see all the different color symbiotes that they have there,
right.
And then
it never gets established where they found them,
right?
Which is interesting.
Yeah. And then
and where the offsprings came from, because obviously, the way symbiotes happen, they have their own offsprings, and then those offsprings have more offsprings, and so there's this lineage of it. So do they come from the site of carnage? You know what I mean? So things like that. So it's never really alluded to or explained, but
then we see that the guy from Carnage from the last movie,
Officer Mullen.
Thank you. Officer Mullen is actually there, and he's alive because they put a symbiote in him. And which symbiote did they put in him? Do you know the name?
Screen?
No.
Toxin, yeah.
Toxin. So they put the symbiote toxin in him to keep him alive.
But they never really say that.
No, they never say the names of these symbiotes. Venom is the only one named in it. We know the name of all these symbiotes because of the comics. Right. And we had, other nerds.
So we speculate that.
Yeah, other nerds, around the world have classified them as, oh, this one's this one and this one. But, so that's where we see Officer Mullen alive with the symbiote. And then the scientist, Dr. Payne, is talking to Officer Mullen and then asks to talk to this, tries to talk to the symbiote. And here's where he starts to explain why they're there and what's coming and all that stuff. And here's where they say that symbiotes, all the symbiotes that they have, they're all looking for a safe haven.
Right.
So very similar to the Secret Invasion Skrulls were here because they're looking for a safe haven.
Right.
So it's just like that. And so we finally realized why that meteor landed here with the symbiotes on it. That's how Venom got here, because they're all just looking for a safe haven. Which Toxin looks a lot like a mermaid style symbiote, where you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just torso, and then the legs are just the symbiote, but it looks very mermaidish.
Yeah,
and then the color doesn't help, where he's like a teal or whatever. Looks like mermaid scales or whatever. But yeah, so then that's where we get more backstory into the symbiotes, which I really liked. I really liked the way that they explained that. And then, is this where we see the xenophage come?
Yeah.
Xenophage is the name of the monster that's hunting Venom for the Codex. Right? The xenophage. And this thing is fucking gnarly, man. Is crazy looking, big ass fucking mouth, crazy amount of teeth. But what's crazy is when he kills people, it's like a wood chipper. He grinds them up, and their blood splatter just comes out the back of his head.
Which
it's pretty sick.
You haven't seen the movie Extraction? Elevation.
With Anthony Mackie?
That's similar to how those.
Really?
Yeah, blood flies out of them. I think it was in that.
Okay, nice. Yeah, because in that movie, the trailer for that movie, those monsters in that look very similar to this. They look like in that realm of monster.
While you're looking that up, I'll confirm that.
Okay. So Null's jail is actually called Zintar. That's what That's the name of Null's
which was.
jail.
It's not Zintar. It's Clintar.
Did I hear that wrong?
Correct. It's Klyntar.
Clintar? Oh, I heard Zintar. Yeah. All right then.
So it's
All right.
Might as well just been like Zoltan.
All right. Well, thank you for correcting that.
So it's his world that exists, like this world of darkness that exists outside of, like in the
void
situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's easily accessible,
right?
Unless you're null or a symbiote.
Yeah.
So it's the home of them.
Okay.
But
so in this movie, I did like that. I was curious to see, since we had that in the trailer. Excuse me. We see Venom going into the horse.
Oh yeah.
So because of that, I was curious to see how many different animals we were going to see as symbiotes, and I have it here. So we got a Venom horse, a Venom fish, a Venom frog, and then I'll say the last one for later because that's a post credit scene. That's an credit scene, so I'll save that one. But yeah, dude, the way when I first seen the way the xenophage kills something, that shit was freaking gnarly. I was like, what the. That shit was wild, man.
Yeah, dude, it really is.
And it literally gives the wood chipper sound, like the blending
literally,
sound.
Yeah.
And then you just see blood splatter come out. It was freaking crazy. But the one thing I forgot to mention when Toxin was talking to Dr. Payne, one of the key lines he said is the end is null, which was like, what?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
That's actually pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was like a goosebumps line right there for sure. Like, oh shit. So the only way that the codex is unattainable is if one of the hosts dies. So a for sure way to keep Null in prison, in his prison chair, whatever you want to call it. What is it, Clintar?
Clintar, yeah.
The only way to for sure 100% keep him there is to either kill Venom or kill Eddie Brock.
Right.
So and then once Toxin tells them that, the military guy's like, all right, say less. Fucking, I know what to do now. But Dr. Payne doesn't want that. She wants to still, be able to study them and save them and all that.
And I think that by default, that's every scientist.
For sure. 100%.
I'm trying to find the damn clip, dude.
It's going to bug you until you see it, right?
Yeah, I want to say it's
Elevation, or what is it? What is the movie?
Yeah, Elevation.
Okay. So that becomes the mission for the military man. What's his name? So I can stop calling him military man. Can we look that up real quick?
Oh,
Rex. Okay, Rex is the guy who played Mordo,
yeah,
Mordo in Doctor Strange. Yeah. So he Rex
Strickland.
Rex Strickland. Is that his name?
I don't know where Rex came from.
That's not his name?
Rex Strickland.
Yeah, that's his first name, Rex.
It doesn't show Rex here on IMDb.
Okay, so Strickland, which is the military guy. So that becomes his goal is to capture Venom and Eddie Brock and kill one of them.
Yeah.
So that's ever since he finds that out, he goes, all right, that's my mission. Because first it was just to get them, and because they're wanted. But
he puts that into place after the whole water scene, the river lake scene, because he kills one of his men.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's when he goes and talks to Toxin, right? After
and he's like, "What are they? What's going on?" And
that's right. Because then he sees the xenophage.
Right
at that point, he's like, "Something just killed my team." Okay, all right. So I did skip ahead. Sorry. So Eddie makes his way. So they're walking, and then they see the horse, and then that's what Eddie Brock was like. Can you? What does he say? How long? Or can you safely take over the horse without killing it? And then Venom's like, let's find out. And then he fucking just goes into it, and that Venom horse looked fucking crazy. It looked kind of dope. It looked dope as hell. So then, so while they're riding, and Venom as the Venom horse, he's gunning it, dude. As the horse, they're gone. Like he's moving fast. And there was a really cool scene in with Venom as the horse so he grabs Eddie Brock and puts him on his back, and that part where he jumps. Do you remember this part where he jumps and Eddie Brock flies off the horse?
Yeah, and he fucking throws.
And then he grabs him and puts him back. I think that was a shout out or a callback to the first Venom when he was on the motorcycle, and he flew off the motorcycle, and then Venom grabbed the motorcycle and brought it back to him. I think that was a callback to that.
Did you see the scene where he was on the airplane?
Oh, we
getting
skipped
to
that.
No, that was before.
That was before you turned into
Oh,
a
that's
horse.
right, because when he lands, that's where he finds the horse. Damn it, I'm all over the place. Shit. That's right. So how did he get on the airplane again?
They didn't show.
He was just stuck to the airplane flying, right?
Outside,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because then that's when the xenophage spots him, because he's full on Venom, and then he gets to the plane, and then they're fighting. Venom is fighting the xenophage on the plane, and then that's when they throw the xenophage into one of the jets, and then it fucking gets all chopped up and then splatters all over the ground, and then that's where we first see the family, that like hippie family, because all the pieces fly and they're like dodging it, and they're like, what the hell was that? And then that's also where we find out that the fucking xenophage can't die.
Oh, right,
Even
right.
if it's chopped up into little pieces, it all just comes back together, kind of like Deadpool.
All right.
And then that's when he explains the codex.
That's when Toxin explains the codex.
No.
Oh, that's when Venom explains
explains
the
it.
codex, because he's like, what the hell was that? Why was he after us? That's right. Okay, yeah. So then,
And he loses his shoes.
yeah, he loses his cowboy boots again. So then they jump off the plane, and then Venom makes like a parachute out of himself.
Yeah.
And then lands, and then he's shoeless again. And then that's when they meet the horse, right? And now we're caught up. All right. So then, so that scene really reminded me of that first Venom, of that motorcycle scene. I was like, I bet you that was to call back from Venom 1. I'm pretty sure. So then, as they get the horse, and then this is where because he's explaining to him that he can't fully become Venom without sending a beacon of the codex. So he's like, I can do this, and where he's just the Venom head talking to him, or he can just like you bring out limbs of Venom
Right.
at a time without sending the beacon. So then Eddie's walking, and they come up on the family that's pulled over having like lunch or something or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, they welcome Eddie, and they're like, hey, you want something to eat? And then this is fucking hilarious. He tells Eddie that, nothing died on that plate. And then Venom's like, fuck this. Then he throws the plate. He just lodges the plate. I was like, so rude, dude. They just gave me some of their food. And Venom's like, fuck this, has no meat. That was hilarious.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
So then they're like, where are you headed? And he's like, oh, New York. They're like, well, we can take you as far as Vegas. And he's like, oh, it's so kind of you. And, so then.
Because they're going to Area 51.
Correct. He's a big alien guy.
Conspiracy, not.
Yeah, so he's really big into aliens. He wants to go to Area 51 because he wants to see
And like
aliens.
we mentioned in the beginning, where the symbiotes are being held, it's like Area 40 something.
It's Area 51 adjacent. It's literally right next door to Area 51.
Right,
It'd
and
be
it's
like Area
underground.
52.
Underneath.
It's
Oh,
underground.
it's
too.
deep underground.
Yeah, so like she drives through like this sand waterfall essentially. She drives through where the sand's falling down
into like a mountain.
into a mountain, and you would never know it's there.
Yeah, very very Batman Batcave. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, agreed.
It's just the sand version of a Batcave,
Right.
100%. Which I wonder if they said, "Hey, let's make it look like the Batcave, but just not water." When they're coming up with the design, it's like let's make it look like that. I think that'd be cool.
I mean,
Anyway.
they're in Nevada. It's
But like, because they could have easily have made it be a in the ground that's a doorway just opens up in the ground and then they go
right.
down
But like,
that.
if they're the whole point was to be inconspicuous about it,
right?
Someone would see the door open. You know what I mean?
Fair
or
point.
hear it.
Yeah.
Versus if it's just sand falling from a rock, someone drives right through it. It's harder.
It's already hidden.
To see that. Yeah.
Fair enough. So then he's saying they're on their way to Area 51. And as we said before, that's being torn down. They're literally getting rid of everything because they're now all underground through that sand.
But the public thinks they're just getting rid of it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which is what they want the public to think. So then they're on their way over there. They're driving. Now they're in the car. And then there's no AC. He's like, it's really hot in here. And he's like, AC's super bad for you, for your health, and blah, blah, blah. They're total hippies.
Yeah.
And then they start playing that song.
I can only imagine how bad it smelled in that.
I was thinking the same thing.
Armpits. Hard armpits.
Because they don't wear deodorant and all that shit. So it's like, I'm sure that
hard armpits, stinky feet.
Just reeking hard in that
No, probably feminine products for,
Yikes. I don't want to imagine what that thing smells like. Anyway, and it's in the desert, dude, so it's nothing but humidity.
Fuck.
Just like a sauna in there. Anyway, and you could tell because they're just drenched.
Dog in there?
Oh, dude, not only that, the dog.
No, true.
The dog smell on top of that. Yeah, I'm sure it smelled horrible. So then they start singing that song that Ground Control to Major Tom. I forget what the song is called, but it's a super famous song. He's not playing the guitar and they're singing because there's no radio apparently. Yeah. So then, this is they're all asleep. This is like after all that little singing part. It's nighttime. The mom is driving, right?
Think so.
Yeah. And then the boy and Eddie are sitting next to each other, and then the boy asks Eddie if he wants some chocolate.
Yeah, it's like
sneakily. Yeah, he's like, "Do you want some chocolate?" I don't know. Is sneakily a word?
I think the word is sneakingly.
My son said it, and I was like, I don't know if that's a word or not. And I've been using it since he said it. Anyway, he sneakingly gave him, it's like, "You want some chocolate?" And then he's like, "They don't let us have candy or sugar." And then he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I have a friend that loves chocolate."
Yeah, he's talking about him.
Right. And then I thought that was really sweet. Like, he can't have candy, and the little bit of candy he, like, snuck away.
He's sharing.
That's, like, such the sweetest thing.
Yeah.
So then he's talking to Eddie, and he's saying, he goes, "I hope," he's like, he doesn't want aliens to be real because he's scared of them, and Eddie kind of, like, reassures him and says, aliens aren't real. He lies to him, and it was really sweet because it's what the kid needed to hear to feel better, and then Venom telling Eddie, he's like, "You would have made a great dad." I was just like, oh, that got me right in the heartstrings, dude. I was just like, man, or like tugged at my heartstrings. I was like, that was so sweet. I was like, that's so nice, and you could tell, like, especially from what happened in Venom 1, like him splitting up with the girl, and like you could tell that that's what Eddie wanted in his future.
A family.
For sure. So him saying that was just, it was really nice. They get Eddie to Vegas. And then, the guy's name is Martin, the hippie guy. His name is Martin. He gives Eddie some money.
Also the actor of the Andrew Garfield first movie, the Lizard. He's the scientist. He's Dr. Connors.
Incorrect. He's not. The guy who played Dr. Connors, he's in No Way Home. They look very similar, but that's different actor.
It's not the same person?
No. The guy who played Dr. Connors is, you ever see the movie The Replacements? With Keanu Reeves, the football movie? The field goal kicker that was very, like, wiry and from Wales, and he has a gambling problem.
Are you sure?
I am positive. That's not the same actor.
I'm looking at his IMDb. He's the Lizard. Dr. Kurt Connors.
What?
Amazing Spider-Man.
No way. Nuh-uh.
Yes.
That's the same actor?
That plays with Andrew Garfield. Dr. Connors.
Oh shit. Who was I
Are you thinking of the Tobey Maguire? Because Dr. Connors is in the Tobey Maguire, but then nothing really happens.
No. I know. I was thinking. I thought that there were two different actors. They just look similar.
No.
What?
What's the other person's name?
So look up the. Yeah, that's him in Venom.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? He does a great American accent. What the hell?
Yeah, Venom Last Dance. He's in House of Dragons.
Is he? Look, yeah, he should be in the replacements.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Get the fuck out of
the
here.
Opera, Misbehavior.
Keep looking until you see the replacements.
I don't see the replacements.
It's
what year did that
early
come
2000s. Keanu Reeves movie.
out? Alice Through the Looking Glass. Last Call.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Playhouse Presence.
Hold on. Sorry guys, this is bugging me. I gotta show him the replay.
Oh shit! He's in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Oh, here it goes. Yep. Is his name Reese Ifans?
Yeah.
Reese? Yeah, Reese Ifans. Look at see. He played the field goal kicker. Who's
in 2000?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The replacements. Yeah, I got it.
See. I knew he was in the I did not know that was that same guy.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Cuz I knew that he was in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I knew that. But I thought that was a different actor. Damn, that dude's got range.
Not really.
I mean, he played that dude, and then he played, like, look at his characters are
he
crazy
didn't do
different.
a bad job. Right. Agreed. But they
He
weren't
fucking
like
he fooled me.
Oscar winning. Well, yeah.
No, I'm not saying they're Oscar caliber. I'm talking about he's got range as far as the type of characters he can play.
Oh yeah, I mean he's an older gentleman. Usually they've well-seasoned vets.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's fucking crazy. Whoops.
Yeah. I'm like, what are we talking about?
That's why I thought,
because we thought, like a lot of people when we saw, because he's in the trailer. So I'm like, oh, maybe he's
he's playing Dr. Connors.
yeah, but he didn't.
Right. Holy shit.
Dork.
Whoopsie.
All right, pause.
Okay.
I gotta pee so
Alrighty.
bad, and I can't hold it no more. I keep spitting.
All right, we're back to film recording. I paused it.
Bet.
All right, so
Yeah,
where was I?
Dr. Connors.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, all right. Whoops, that was a big whoopsie on me. I swear to you, I thought that was a.
I was
different
like,
guy.
wait.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that guy, he gives Eddie some money. He gives him some money, and then he gives him some really nice sandals that are like
his sandals, like off his feet.
No, I thought they were a second pair because he was clearly still wearing shoes.
Was he still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
he gave him like another pair of sandals that were like, great for like they're cushioned or memory or some really nice ones, but they look horrible. Anyway,
ugly as shit.
yeah, ugly,
Yes.
ugly sandals. Those classic like old man sandals where it's like
absolutely
goes
the
on
equivalent to Hispanic huaraches.
Yeah.
but disgusting.
So he tells him, he goes, it's not. I love the line. He goes, because I think Eddie goes goodbye. He goes, well, it's goodbye for now.
Yeah,
And I really love that line. That's awesome. So then Eddie. Oh, and the one thing I forgot to mention was while they're in the van and they were doing the whole song thing, I realized Eddie Brock and I have something in common. We both hate musicals. Because he's like, no, absolutely not. I will not sing along. Like he's just like so against singing the whole singing part or singing with the whole family and everything.
I guess.
I thought that was funny.
I don't understand why you hate musicals.
They're just, I don't know. That's for another time. But because there's some I could tolerate, like Grease, I love. Cry Baby, I love. Because I don't know if it's maybe the songs in those that I really like, but other musicals, they're just. It's just so out of place. It's
So you're not going to see Wicked?
I am gonna go see Wicked because Wizard of Oz too. Wizard of Oz is the other one that I like. Yeah, but I knew I wasn't gonna like Joker, and I was correct. Anyway,
No
Folie à
taste.
Deux.
No taste.
Whatever. Anyway, so I thought that was funny that we both hate musicals. So then they get to Vegas and Eddie tries to go into a casino and then gets stopped at the door. He's like, we have a dress code. Because this dude's still in like sweaty ass t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops.
With like sweat stains on it.
That's
like,
what I mean.
gross.
Like literally sweat from like here. Literally it's a big ass sweat stain. Because it's literally the shirt he's been wearing since Mexico. And then, so he gets denied at the door. And then he's walking and he sees a guy in a nice suit peeing just like on a outside, just in fucking clear as day, just up. And then the guy turns around and he's still peeing and just peeing on Eddie. And then, and then he's like, what the hell? And dude's completely drunk, like, not gonna remember shit. So then
annihilated.
Yeah. So and then Venom's like, oh, he has a nice suit, and then Eddie's like, yeah, I forget
You need some help or something?
something, but then he tells Venom something. I forgot what it was. So then Venom makes a hand and then just fucking boom,
knocks his ass
clear across the fucking like walkway, and the dude just goes and just slides and shit. And then Eddie goes over there, and when the guy turned around, I swear this guy could have been like, he was probably a stunt double or some shit, or he looked a lot like Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Like you would mistake this guy for him. So then same build and everything, so that's why he takes off his suit and everything, puts it on, and he cleaned up real nice, right? So he's walking back, and then here's where Venom says like, oh, we could be the sexiest man alive or whatever. He makes the sexiest man alive joke.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy says, he goes, I've won sexiest man alive awards before. And then I had thought he won. I thought that was a joke about him winning People's Sexiest Man Alive, but I looked it up. It turns out he didn't. He won UK's Sexiest Man Alive in 2001.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a joke for that. But I thought it was People's. I could have sworn he had won People's one year. But so yeah, that was a joke for that, and I thought that was really funny. So then was it Venom that's saying, oh, we're gonna, like, once we get in the casino with his slots, blackjack, then roulette, and in that order. And I was like, I'm gonna try that next time I go to the casino. I'm like, I'm gonna try that order, see how it works out for me. So then they get to the slots, and they take the little bit of money that Martin gave Eddie Brock, and Venom just puts it all into the machine, and just starts fucking slamming the thing, hitting it. Clearly, Venom is a gambling addict. He's 100% a gambling addict. And then they, surprisingly, he doesn't win. And Venom's like, no. He says, this made me fucking laugh hard. He goes, Lady Luck is a fickle slut. That shit was hilarious. I laugh both times. It's so funny. And I guarantee you 98% of people in Vegas would agree with that. They probably have said that. So then, and then they see somebody. Oh, then Venom gets pissed, and then he makes Eddie kick the machine.
Yeah,
and then he goes, I think you broke my foot. and then they hear somebody winning big, and they look over and fucking, who
Chen.
is it? Mrs. Chang.
Chen. It's Mrs. Chen, not Chang.
Fuck, that's another thing I misheard. Is it Mrs. Chen?
Yes, sir.
Fuck, I wrote Chang. Anyway, so he goes over to her, and then, she's excited to see him, and then she goes, is the big guy here? And then he goes, yeah. And then she tells him that she's been winning big, and that she's won so much, they comped her a penthouse suite with like, then they give her money for like, or no, that's just with her winning. She bought like clothes, and she's like, let's go to my room and order room service. And
she's wearing this red dress. Gave me like I don't know what she was. Maybe she was a princess or a fairy of some sort from Shrek, Forever and Ever or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? When she wears the red dress.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the hairstyle was the same. I was like, that's the vibe that she gave me. Nice. Mrs. Chen was dressed like the girl from Shrek.
Okay, all right. So then they go up to the penthouse, and that's where you see it in the trailer. They have a dance together. Yeah. I thought this dance was gonna be like super cheesy, but it was actually kind of nice. Like,
didn't it dance like the Dancing Queen? What was it?
Yeah, that was the song. So then they dance, but then Venom changes into full Venom to dance with her, and then that sends off the beacon. Yeah, and then the xenophage sees it from where the fuck from?
Far as fuck, dude.
Yeah, from the desert.
Yeah.
From way in the desert, and then he sees it, fucking hauls ass over there. So then in the middle of the dance, but then not only that, what was his name? Rex? What? Strickland?
Strickland is what.
Strickland. Okay.
Yeah, Rex. I think.
So we find out that his special forces squad is codenamed the Six, because always the six people. They had seen CCTV footage of Eddie in Vegas, so then they make their way to him, and then they bust through her penthouse and tase Eddie Brock, right? And Venom. Yeah, so they tase Venom, and then they hit Venom with that sound wave blast or whatever that was, and then that separates them, and then they contain Venom in that like fucking suction thingy.
Yeah.
And then they tase Eddie Brock, and then they take them. But as they do that, the xenophage comes, right? Or no, it's the xenophage gets there first. Because then Venom goes back against Eddie Brock, and then he can't see them, so then he leaves.
Yeah.
And then that's when the Six comes.
Yeah, and then the Six come.
Okay. So then they take Eddie Brock, and they take him back to, we'll call it Area 52 for now. What happened? Oh, yeah. And he's fucking missing his shoes again. This guy cannot hold on to a pair of shoes to save his life in this movie.
Poor guy.
So then they take him back. So now Eddie and Venom are separated. They take him back, and they put him into the room directly across from Officer Mullen. Toxin.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eddie's surprised to see him because he thought he was dead. So then they show up, and they bring Eddie out, and then that's where Strickland comes, and he's like, you killed. Oh, we skipped this part, but back in the water when the Six were trying to get Eddie Brock, him and one of the Six were struggling, and they were trying to kill Eddie Brock, and Eddie wind up like pushing the gun. Well, they were struggling with the gun, and he just bets it back towards the Six member, and the gun went off and kills the person. So that one was Eddie Brock killed her because Venom was a fish at the time,
or a frog,
or in the water trying to get to Eddie. So technically, Eddie killed that person, and that's what Strickland's pissed about. And because of that, this dude has fucking zero mercy for Eddie.
Yeah.
So he walks up, and then Eddie Brock talks to Mulligan, right? Yeah, it's Officer Mulligan. And then I forget what they talked about, but does he explain what's going on? Or he says, I forget what they talked about. But anyway.
Yeah, I think Venom he switches into Toxin.
Yeah.
And then Toxin tells him that it's coming.
Right. And then we see, what's the character's name that has the Christmas pendant? I just called her Christmas. Sadie. So she has a Christmas pendant. She's one of the scientists there. She's working like directly with Dr. Payne. They're there. Dr. Payne, her, and they're the ones who take Eddie out, right? And then Strickland comes up, says something, and then he's like, so point being, he just point blank pulls out his gun, shoots Eddie in the chest. Boom. Eddie falls down. But I love this fucking shot. As Eddie's falling down, Sadie, right? Sadie catches him with her arm, like as he's falling, and then the symbiote comes out. She turns into the symbiote to catch him, right? Into the Venom symbiote, and then catches Eddie, and then picks him up, and then the symbiote goes back into Eddie, and then the bullet drops out of him. That shit was
pretty cool.
That was fucking so well shot. I love that scene. And then they all start shooting at Venom, and then the xenophage
barges in, breaks through,
barges in, and then Toxin breaks out of his cell to start fighting the xenophage.
And he tells Venom to run.
Yeah. And then Venom gets out of there, and then this is where fucking all hell breaks loose inside Area 52. And then how do all these symbiotes get out? Sadie releases them, right? Yeah, you're right. So Sadie releases all the symbiotes, and then the symbiotes start going into characters that we've seen, like the security guard,
other scientists,
and then goes into Sadie, and she fucking she winds up being one of my favorite symbiotes.
Yeah, she's a badass.
She was so fucking badass. So then they all start fighting. Did you ever send me the photo of it?
I did not.
Okay, can you send that to me, please?
I couldn't find it.
You couldn't find it?
Oh.
The name of them? Can you? Maybe
but
you could
I
get a better look.
know Hers, the Christmas one is Lasher.
Yeah. So Sadie becomes Lasher with that symbiote, and then we get a few of them. We get one that's a twin head one. It's one body, two heads.
Maybe this one, Paige,
Is that what it is?
the yellow symbiote.
Is it yellow?
Phage. Is it Paige?
Scream. The two-headed symbiote doesn't have a name.
Okay.
Phage, Lasher, Toxin,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Those are the only named ones that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah. So then
Oh, and Agony.
Agony. That's another. I thought there was another one, and then there was Anti-Venom too, right?
No,
The
not
white one?
technically. No,
No, that's
it looked like
Peter
it.
Parker's.
No, it's
white-
not Anti-Venom.
That's not Anti-Venom. Okay.
Anti-Venom is stronger than Carnage and Venom put together.
Mm-hmm. And but that one's all white, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how.
Well, no, Anti-Venom is it's the opposite of Venom.
Right. Hence
So
the
what-
name Anti-Venom. Yeah,
right,
but
so what?
But I'm saying the
whatever
color.
is-
The color's
right,
white.
but the
right?
white part, the black part, or the white part on Venom is now
black. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
so it's just the colors reversed.
Right, exactly. That's what I was saying. Because that's what Peter Parker's suit in Spider-Man 2 when he gets the symbiote, but when he gets rid of the bad symbiote, but keeps the good the good part of the symbiote, his suit becomes Anti-Venom.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what the white Spider-Man suit is in that game.
Well, was it a yellow and a blue symbiote?
Yeah, there was. Because this one is the one I thought was
The blue
Anti-Venom.
symbiote was from the first movie, and it's
This one.
Beyond Venom and Riot.
Riot was the first one. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Beyond Venom was the other one then?
I didn't know about that.
Oh, okay.
This is Beyond Venom and Riot.
All right.
So they had the symbiotes from the first movie.
Oh, okay.
I think those are the ones that go together.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Because it's like a black and a blue. Anyway, so all these symbiotes start fighting the xenophage. Because then, don't more arrive?
Xenophages, yeah.
Yeah, more xenophages arrive, right? So then they're all fighting off all the symbiotes, and this is the part where this scene, like the climax of this movie, is probably what gave me that extra stone rating for me. They got it up to 5
Yeah.
because this is badass.
So just to rephrase, the only 4 symbiotes that are confirmed
Mm-hmm.
is Lasher,
Yeah.
Scream, Phage,
Toxin.
Agony. They never really call him Toxin.
But we know that is Toxin.
We assume that is.
Yeah.
It looks like him, but
Okay.
we don't know if it is.
Okay. All right.
And then it says two-headed symbiote.
Yeah, it's literally just named
That's
the two-headed symbiote.
two-headed symbiote. They just went very basic.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Fair enough.
They never broke down and defined who that person was.
Yeah. All right. So then, so they're all fighting, and then they're literally just saying for Venom to get the hell out of there, that they'll hold him back. And then, unfortunately, not all the symbiotes make it out. Like some start dying in Area 52,
Right.
and then they burst out and they start fighting in the desert. And then, well, what we didn't see was while this is all happening, the family, Martin and his family, wind up making it to Area 51, and then they go in through a broken gate.
Yeah.
So now they're on the grounds of Area 51,
Where
where
they're
it's
not
being
supposed to be.
where it's being demolished and stuff. So they go up to a tower, like a guard tower that's been abandoned or whatever. And while they're up there, that's when they see a big ass explosion and xenophages coming out, symbiotes fighting, and then he's like, "Oh, aliens are real!" Like he's fucking alien invasion. And then, so as they're all fighting, Eddie's running and he sees them.
Yeah.
So then he goes up there with Venom, and then here's where he's talking to. He's like, "You can't be here." And then he sees what's the little boy's name? I forgot his. I don't know if we ever
I'll tell you right now.
I literally only have him in here as the boy. I wrote the
apparently
boy.
his name is Leaf.
That makes sense. Leaf. Wow. So he's really scared, and then Eddie Brock tells him, he goes, I lied to you. Aliens are real. He goes, but they're not all bad. And then that's where Venom's head comes out. And then I thought it was really sweet. Venom thanked him for the chocolate.
Oh yeah,
it was so sweet. I really like that. So then, but then something happens to the tower, right, where it starts to fall, and then they all fall, and then Eddie jumps down, and he's only able to grab 2 of them, and then the other symbiotes, they make like a little slide, right?
Yeah,
and then 2 of them come down. The other 2 come down like that, and then they're just all trying to get them out of there, and while fighting the xenophages, and the xenophages are fucking
I would
killing.
say the climax scene here is probably what did it for me.
As far as what? 18th on today.
Sorry, dude, I'm so exhausted.
I know.
But no, I think the final climax, and then seeing what's the freaking agent's name, Strickland. He worked with them because he knows he can't stop these xenophage without.
He gets stabbed in the torso.
Yeah.
By one of the xenophages, right?
Yeah.
At this point. So then he's like, he literally just gets speared through the back. So he's fighting for his life, and then, but before that happens, Eddie Brock pulls up on the bike. He's like, I'm gonna lead them away, like meet me over here. Or
basically, he's like, I'm gonna line them up for him to light them all up.
So he gets them away, and then gets them to like this gas, like where they have a bunch of fucking gas containers or whatever the hell it is. And then they blow them all up, but that only stops it for a little bit, because then they fucking go back together.
Yeah. It's like propane tanks of some sort, yeah.
Yeah, so then, but during all of this shit, what's her symbiote's name?
Scream?
Lasher, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This girl is fucking kicking ass, dude, and she's the one who
She looks like she's like on rollerblades.
but she's fast, but her thing is she can make a bunch of like tentacles come out.
Yeah.
And she like hops on the xenophage and is like stabbing them all crazy, and she hops on the other one, stabs them all
she
crazy.
seemed to have bond with the symbiote really well.
Yeah, like her what do they call that? Symbiosis, right? When they both bond well together, like Eddie and Venom. So theirs was probably up there with Venom and Eddie Brock. Like them two gelled really good together.
And so, also, she's very intelligent. She's a scientist. So I'm sure she has a good control of her own emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to bond with something as advanced as a symbiote, it kind of came natural for her.
Yeah, that probably helped with their for sure. So all the other ones are dying, and this girl's the only one keeping up. Like literally, Venom's on the bike, or Eddie Brock is on the bike, and fucking Lasher's just running beside him, like just gunning it. I was like, what the fuck?
And like jumping over like random things, and then being able to fight them and knock them out in the air. Like, I think it was really good. I'm sad that she died.
Yeah,
dude. It was kind of shitty that she died, but
I was getting there. But so he realizes like there's no way to be, or that there's no stopping them. He has to figure out some way to fully kill these things,
or he has to die,
or he has to die. Yeah. So is it after they blow them up? They're coming back together. Eddie Brock gets stabbed, right, with something, because I know he gets hurt, but it's when they're separate, right?
Yeah.
So then Eddie realizes, so there's something that we didn't talk about before, but the way that they're destroying a lot of shit is they're using like acid.
Yeah.
And there's this station where they pull up, and then acid gets dumped on that, and it disintegrates whatever they want to get rid of.
It leaves zero remains of anything.
Yeah. The only person that can control this machine is Strickland.
Yeah.
And he has to give his fingerprint, palm, and retina scan, and then he has to say his name. So is it Venom that realizes that, right? So he's like, it was a really sweet moment where like he realizes that that's what he has to do to kill them, but he needs to sacrifice himself to do it.
Yeah.
So Eddie's hurt, and then he somehow, I forget how, but he gets them to that machine, and then you think like that Venom is about to go into Eddie Brock, but then he picks up like a blast door or something, and puts it over Eddie Brock. That was so sweet.
And then he like essentially webs up all of the xenophage. The whole.
Oh, that's right. That's what he did. Yeah, you're right.
He webs them up and puts them in essentially like kill zone of where the
acid like bath
falls.
would be. Yeah,
but it's not falling enough to kill them fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
So on this one, Strickland lights a bomb, blows himself up, and those tanks, so that way the acid just go everywhere. All
yeah, yeah. It's not a controlled pour; it's just all of it.
Yeah,
yeah. So then, but then after he puts that blast over of Eddie, that's where Venom says, "It's what does he say? It's goodbye for now." And then he goes back. I was like, dude,
oh, it was cute.
Fucking making me want to cry.
And we know right away the vial that he still had. That Strickland
at the bar, the little
is the only existence of Venom still alive.
The viral shed,
right?
The viral shed, yeah.
And we also see another vial which is where we see Agony, where the Dr.
Payne put in her lab coat because that's the only one they had a little a viral shed of her of that one.
Sadie are running away from the explosion.
Right. Oh yeah.
And then Sadie trips, and then that's when Dr. Payne did the thing.
Oh yeah, because well, no, that's where Lasher died because they get separated, and then the xenophage kills the symbiote, and then Sadie was like, "No," because she wanted to keep that symbiote with her. She was gonna look like she was gonna do a lot of good with that symbiote, but
it turns out they do like this, what is it called? That shaky noise where it separates the symbiote with.
Oh yeah, the
sound wave blast. Oh yeah, and then so since Sadie gets separated from Lasher, Sadie looks like she's about to die, and then Dr. Payne sees that, and that's where she takes out the vial and breaks it, and then the symbiote goes in her. Turns out she's Agony, and it was a speedster, basically, a speedster symbiote.
Now I don't know if the speed is something that's comic book accurate.
Okay.
I think it might be
just for the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to look that up?
Yeah.
For Agony? Okay. So.
Right, because of her backstory of her being electrocuted and going through her brother. I think so, but I don't think that was her.
He's saying that's not in the comics. That's not what Agony can do. But that might be specific for the movie. Yeah. But so then, like I said, Agony, or once the symbiote goes into Dr. Payne, she speeds over to Sadie, picks her up, and then takes her to safety. And then that's where we see after Agony goes back into Dr. Payne, you see Dr. Payne's, what was it? What did I say? Her left arm. She can move her left arm again. So basically, the symbiote healed her arm, which is dope. But that was cool. So now technically, Agony is the only symbiote left alive. Technically, at this point. So then, but before Venom died, I forgot to say, Venom tells Eddie, "You better not forget me. Like, don't forget. You better not forget me." Those. Which part? Martin. Oh yeah, Martin. Fucking. Who does he save? He saves Eddie. Yeah, he saves Eddie with that rocket launcher. Oh, and he blows up the xenophage, and then the xenophage. I totally forgot about that. Then the xenophage is like all in pieces, and then one of the eyeballs lands by Martin, and then Martin's looking at it, and then the eyeball just moves and looks at Martin. He goes, "I'm sorry," and then he runs away.
yeah, I remember
Dude, that was so fucking funny. He goes, "I'm sorry," and then he runs away. And then when he goes back to his car, he gets his family back to his car. What does he say? He says something like "fuck aliens" or aliens suck.
Yeah, I think that's what he says. Aliens suck.
They leave. So safe to say he won't be that trip of him searching for aliens is ended after that event.
He's I got the fix I needed.
Yeah, he's over the whole alien thing. So thank you for reminding me about that. That was fucking hilarious. So he tells Eddie, you better remember me or you better not forget me. And then we see, a montage of Eddie in New York. Oh no, Eddie wakes up right in the hospital next to this military guy, this like general or whatever, and he goes, after what you did, basically your record is expunged, and he goes, obviously if you ever breathe a word of this, you basically don't, because then you're fucking locked back up or whatever.
Right.
The deal's off the table. So then we see Eddie in New York, sightseeing, and he goes to Ellis Island, not to Ellis Island, but he could see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like saying, I'll never forget you, buddy, to Venom. And then that's it. That's the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then we have 2 post-credit scenes.
Yes.
So
I'm not finding Agony's power set to have anything about speed.
Okay, so maybe it is then.
I think it was unique to just...
Oh, you're saying you're not finding anything in the content as far as her lore? I have the book. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I don't see her having speed.
So you're thinking that might be just because of the movie, because of the whole lightning thing?
Yeah.
To play to that? Okay. Because what are her power sets in the comics?
Just superhuman strength and...
Just basic Venom...
Yeah.
Or basic symbiote powers? Okay.
And she has long hair.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Medusa is, where she can like move around with that, like kind of like her web.
Oh, got you. Okay. I see it more as what's the Mortal Kombat character? The girl who can Katana's mom. What's her name? So it's something like with an S. It's not Celine. No. So anyway, where she literally uses her hair as a weapon.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That's
she
what
does the like Sonic scream too.
Yeah, that's what I saw it more as. Yeah. So then. But yeah, I mean, that was the movie, man. And like I said, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. The comedy was good. The storyline, was good. It didn't lose me in places. Like, it made sense.
Yeah.
It had some heartfelt moments. I felt like it rounded out Venom's story pretty well. And like I said, the action was great. CGI was awesome. Everything about it I really liked. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, CGI did not disappoint at all. Story was pretty solid. No real big inconsistencies.
Yeah.
There weren't anything alluded to that were just like, well, where are we gonna go with this?
Yeah.
We got symbiotes and they all died.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it essentially was the last dance for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, the last shot was Null screaming because he realized he wasn't gonna go free, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the last shot? I think it was. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, let us know what you guys thought of the film. Let us know if you guys didn't like. I know a lot of people there's a lot of mixed.
Yeah, there's another.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What was the first
scene.
mid-credit scene? I can't remember the first mid-credits. I remember the post-credit scene, but what was the mid-credit one? Something. Oh no, it was with Noel, wasn't it? Where he says something about King in Black.
Yeah, he says that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the last one then?
And that was alluding to Spider-Man 4.
Yes.
Right. The last one was the bartender coming out of Area 52, all the rubble everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, hello, and then we just see him running off into the distance, and then
we
here's
see a
where we
vial
see
on the floor.
No, here's where we see a symbiote cockroach come out of that place. Remember? You see the cockroach jump out, and it's a Venom cockroach.
Are you sure it was?
Yes, I'm 100% positive. That I for sure. I know. I may have been wrong about that actor, but I'm 100% right about this. And that's where that cockroach line comes into play. And I'm like, I knew that was going to be for a reason. I knew it. That's way too obscure of a line, or too weird of a line just to be in there for no reason. So yeah, and that I think is how we're going to get Venom getting back to Eddie Brock.
Yes.
Through that, because it was a flying cockroach. That's also key to know. It was a flying one. It wasn't just a regular house cockroach. Crawling one. Hell yeah. And Puerto Rico has flying cockroaches too. And that's no bueno. Those are not cool. Yeah. So yeah. So then that's for sure how we're going to see Venom get back to Eddie Brock, through that cockroach. So in total, we had a Venom horse, Venom fish, Venom frog, and Venom cockroach in this movie. Which was... What animal would you have liked to see Venom take over?
A monkey.
Holy shit. That would have been crazy. I would have liked to see a Venom dog. I'm not going to lie. A Venom dog, very like mask-ish. Remember when the mask went onto the dog?
Oh, yeah.
Very, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think
a Venom dog would have been dope. Like, and it was right there too. He could have went into one of the dogs to kill one of the bad guys.
That's true.
We could have saw it there. Missed opportunity. Venom cat.
Oh, that'd be shitty.
That would
We'd all be scratched up.
Hell yeah. Imagine how big the claws would be. Fuck.
So I'm watching the final credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's like, hello, hello.
Yeah. Wait for it. It's literally the last shot. You see the little Venom roach go onto a rock. And then...
It is a Venom roach?
It's a flying cockroach, yeah. 100%. You'll see it.
I've seen it. I just don't remember it being a Venom roach.
Yeah. It is, to be fair, it is a kind of hard to see because it is smaller. So, but you could see like the ripple of the symbiote skin, I guess you can call it. But yeah. Any other last thoughts on it? Anything else that we missed, possibly, that you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I enjoyed it very much.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Tom Hardy show up in Secret Wars.
In Secret Wars, not in Spider-Man 4? If they're going to do the symbiote in Spider-Man 4, I think the best way to do it would be to introduce Tom Hardy in the MCU that way.
Think so?
Yeah. And then similar to like the other stories where, a viral shed gets to Peter, and that's how we get, Peter with the symbiote.
Well, maybe that's what brings Noel, is the codex between Peter and Venom.
Right. And I mean, they're already hinting to that with him saying King in Black.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
They start production of that in the summer of 2025.
Spring, I think.
Spring
or summer, and one of those two. But I know, soon.
I'm excited for another Spider-Man movie.
Hell yeah.
We have a lot of movies coming out, or a lot of projects coming out for 2025.
Yeah, we're going to be very busy.
Very fucking busy.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it.
Absolutely.
And, Marvel has their structure in place. We're going to get some DC-related projects. What are we getting?
As far as DC goes, for 2025, Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Legacy.
That's right. Superman Legacy.
I think Peacemaker Season 2 is coming out in 2025. Okay. Yeah. Peacemaker. Which, have you seen Season 1?
Mm-mm.
You got to get on that. It's really good.
I'll check it out.
I think you'll like it. Definitely do not watch that with the kids around.
I know.
For sure. There's full-on nudity. There's, like, all craziness happening in that show. It's for sure TVMA. But it's really good. James Gunn did a really good job. So, I will tell you, the first episode, you cannot skip intro. Part. Okay. Because I was like, I'm watching, I'm like, what the fuck? And he did that on purpose. He said, he goes, the first episode, I do not want the skip intro feature. After that, episodes 2 through whatever, you can skip the intro.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking comedic genius, I swear.
He's pretty cool. Right?
But the way he did it, he told the actors, be dead face, like deadpan face, and be like just emotionless through this whole dance. It's gonna be hilarious. But you'll think it's funny. I think
I'll
you'll
check
like
it out. Yeah.
As far as DC, and then we have Creature Commandos coming out 2025, right?
No, yeah.
The animated series, and then also, I don't know, maybe you can pull it up, but I know we have a few projects from DC coming out. Yeah, those are the only ones coming to mind.
Yeah. My idea for our New Year's episode was also to include our projections and things that we're excited for. All of the 2025 slates.
Okay.
So that'll be fun to kind of rate which ones you're most excited for, what you're not excited for.
Okay.
And that would include shows and movies.
Nice.
So we'll have fun with that.
Yeah, for sure.
What we got next coming up? Skeleton Crew, right?
Skeleton Crew just dropped recently.
2 episodes. Yeah.
The first 2 episodes on Disney Plus. So if you guys are Star Wars fans, please get on that. I think that this show is going to be kind of like Rogue One-esque and Andor. I think it's going to be that type of Star Wars film or project. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really good.
How do you feel about
Jude Law's in it?
Yeah, how do you feel about the future? Like how...
Oh, Star Wars?
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. The thing we got to remember, I mean, Acolyte was a huge miss, and that was a bummer.
And
because the trailer was so... Gave me like... I was so optimistic after seeing the trailer. Yeah. But it just fell apart.
I was doing some digging on my own with Acolyte, and So they did confirm that they are a dyad in the Force, and they were created through the Force.
Okay.
But through Force manipulation versus there's not a real proof.
Talking about Anakin?
Yeah, that he was born of the Force.
She just doesn't know how she got pregnant, right?
Well, she was born through the Force, yes, but by, I think, in direct result to Plagueis and Palpatine manipulating midichlorians to create life, and the Force was like, all right, you're fucking with something you don't understand.
Yeah.
This is my response to you. Now, this cool theory that I found is that the reason why Grogu is still alive and why they've emphasized that he's the same age as Anakin,
okay,
is because they might be a dyad in the Force.
Grogu and Anakin?
Correct.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
And you can see how May and Osha can flip back and forth from good and bad, similar to how Anakin was able to go from good to bad.
Yeah. He was battling it, yeah.
Right. And then Grogu can walk away from the Jedi and potentially be a Mandalorian. And probably come back to be a Mandalorian Jedi. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to see him fight side by side with Rey. You know, I think that'd be awesome.
Hell yeah.
But that was an interesting theory that I found, and I was like, yeah.
That kind of saved the Acolyte a little bit.
I can cling on to that theory that they're a dyad in the Force through witch manipulation, through magic with a K.
Yeah.
Magic, not Force magic, or not the Force, but just Force magic is what I meant to say. And I was like, if that's where they spin it to save it, because as we know, the showrunners and people that wrote the script, they were not writing it with Star Wars lore in mind.
Right.
They wrote it with trying to make
their own version of Star Wars.
This whole PC nonsense.
I think that's where they went wrong, is that, and that's where they lost a lot of Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Is that they tried doing their own thing without respecting the lore.
Right. You can do your own thing, but there's like that's why I was so upset about it. It's like Anakin was born of the Force, and you're saying that these things were born of the Force. Well, but you know, these twins were born. Well, yeah, but essentially they're all things. They're like not.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
They're not really, real. I mean, they can't really call them human beings because they're born of the Force. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just how Jesus isn't really. I mean, he's human in nature, how he appears to us, but he's a deity. He's or a demigod or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by like these. Yeah. Whatever they are, that lure is. If that's how they tie it, then I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I don't think Skeleton Crew is going to give me any of those answers.
Absolutely not. It's a completely different world.
Total like side quest that you have to complete in a game.
For sure.
Like, you're like, by the way, go do this. This is fun.
That's why I said that this is going to be kind of like what Rogue One was to the Star Wars lore. It's going to be like that, because it's not going to be Force centered.
Rogue One led up.
Correct, but I'm saying the whole movie of the Force, or of Rogue One, it wasn't Force centered. Like, it wasn't about the Force, and it was in it, like mentioned and all that stuff, like, and you did have the blind guy who used the Force, but it wasn't Force centered like how the prequels were, and it's all about the Force and lightsabers and all that stuff. This is going to be about what other people do in that Star Wars universe, so like how they get by and how they use what they have, and people that can't access the Force. So we're going to see that side of Star Wars universe.
I get.
Yeah. That's what Andor and Rogue One were all about. Yeah. It's showing that side of this universe.
I just feel like this wasn't the right time to release this.
Okay.
After, quote unquote, swing and a miss of Acolyte, whether people liked it or not, I think we needed something, we needed a heavy hitter. I would have rather have waited for The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay. Well, you don't. I mean, you say that now, but wait till Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew.
Yeah,
maybe
we're gonna watch
you might change your mind on that.
Hopefully,
yeah.
Because like Andor was, it was entertaining. It was just so much storytelling.
It was that was a slow build for sure.
Oh my god,
they were telling a lot of story in that.
I know that.
Yeah, dude,
ready to fall asleep.
It took me a while to get through that, but once you get past those first like 4 episodes where they finally get going with the story, it gets drastically better. And then we do have Andor season 2 coming.
I know,
which was a surprise to me. I didn't think that they were going to do season 2 on that one.
Yeah,
I'm glad they are because I mean I like the actor. I think he's doing a great job as a character.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so I mean that's what we got coming up next. Skeleton Crew, that will be our next episode.
And then Craven
coming out. I already got my tickets.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Huh?
I would love to cover Wicked.
Really? You really want to cover Wicked? But as he said, stay tuned for Skeleton Crew that is coming out. We'll try to get it to you guys next week. So if you guys are big Star Wars fans, get on that because we're going to be covering that episodically. And we'll try to squeeze in that New Year's episode and other stuff like that for you guys. But that's going to do it for us today. And as always, Kike, I am with you.
To the end of the line.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Also, hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all our new episodes and more.